I'm reading today from Path to Happiness, and our focus is on collaboration today. This is associated with questing and the word please in the 7-word system. Collaboration. The quest that we are on is always the quest for self-discovery. However often we may get caught up in the details of emotional release and inquiry, in the end we come back to the main question: who am I? From one perspective, this is so profound and complex that it is not even easy to understand the question itself, let alone the answer. And yet it is central to whether we live with disappointment or happiness. One helpful realization is that there could never be individual identity without others to be different from. We are who we are in relation to others. Therefore, as others change, so do we. And so the whole matter of identity is ephemeral. We are exactly who we are, only for now, and only with this person. From another perspective, this question's overarching importance gives us the simple answer to every other. The answer to every single question is the very answer to this one: who am I? Am I a person who is willing to suffer pain or significant inconvenience to stand for a principle? Am I a person who wants another cup of coffee now? The beauty of it lies in that nobody cares what the answer is except us, not from the highest perspective. There is no right or wrong answer. In every moment we may freely choose who to be, although of course there are always consequences. Optimal choice is rather less what we do and more with whom we do it. Since we are shaped by our interactions with others, it is important to choose them wisely. This is the reverse of what is commonplace. Most people end up with a certain circle of associates as a byproduct of pursuing a goal. We might enjoy numbers and end up fiddling tax returns for unprincipled businessmen to get rich. We might love art and spend our lives in the company of those manipulative types who use our creative designs to sell something horrible for Big Pharma or the tobacco industry. In both cases, our goal is to secure a livelihood. Yet so often the price we have to pay for that is to be moulded in our thoughts and attitudes by unloving influences. This is not acceptable for true seekers. If we quest for happiness, then we must practice happiness. Being in the company of unloving people because they pay us is not a strategy that promotes happiness. If in pursuit of our goals we are obliged to collaborate with those we disapprove of, then either the goals or the strategy is false. We absorb the qualities from those we associate with. If the boss is an angry, impatient bully, we may well go home and be just like that with our beloveds. Perhaps not on day one, but over the years, bit by bit, these qualities will creep into our personality. It could be in the reverse sense, in that we are bringing home the resentful, long-suffering, bullied version into our home life, rather than the bullying version. It is better to become more aware of what qualities we can notice in a person before engaging with them in any involvement. Sadly, many couples have little idea about the truth of the person that they are sharing their life with until the glister of the courtship and honeymoon periods proves not to be gold. Being sexy and fun is lovely on a Friday night, but how is this useful on Monday morning or at 4 a.m. when the baby is still crying? Naturally, we will have to deal with people who are walking a shady path, and we will come across attractive people with very unattractive qualities. Partial exclusion or total refusal to engage with them may be required, or at least let them not intrude upon the deepest centre of self, nor corrupt what is precious to us. As a general rule, a few key indicators are enough to determine whether a person is likely to move us towards or away from our purpose of self-discovery and its resultant happiness. For example, we could choose kindness, honesty, and sensitivity, and have nobody routinely in our lives except people who themselves hold these qualities as life principles. However ardent may be our intention, no vision can possibly be realized unless it is married up with the visions of others. Having another cup of coffee is collaborating with the visions of a vast number of people. from the Sumatran coffee picker saving to buy her daughter her first pair of shoes, to the successful cafe owner who hopes to sell his business for a profit on which he can retire comfortably. The secret to having our dreams come true is to marry it up with others' dreams. Then a team of people is created whose collective power is immeasurably greater than ours alone. Alone we are actually quite powerless. The trick is entering a mutually helpful collaboration, and this lies in two abilities. The first thing is to become very clear about what we want to happen next. This clarity comes out of the vision and intention stages of questing. Certain aspects of this are emphatically required, some are preferred and not essential, and some are irrelevant. What is required must, by definition, be non-negotiable, a deal breaker. What is irrelevant should be ignored, and what remains is the area for negotiation. The second ability is negotiation, or shall we call it communication. Depth communication is always a negotiation of sorts. Our method is to act assertively upon the other in order to hold true to our purpose, and yet also having sensitivity to try to attract their full and enthusiastic willingness to fulfill our requirements. Being sensitive to their inner state as well as their outer demands is much likelier to win our cooperation and will also set the mood. Collaboration in the mood of enthusiasm and harmony is both more effective and more enjoyable. Children learn early on how to best to negotiate. First you soften, then you ask politely and repeatedly. The softening has to do with forming rapport, developing empathy, and so charming the other person. The charm is a spell. Being charming is a powerful tool of persuasion and employed by most successful people. It has the effect of softening the resistance of the other to make them more biddable. However, the key to collaboration lies mainly in the operation of the word please. When we ask the right person in the right way at the right time, and we use this word, then invariably things move in our direction. What is truly wonderful is when two people want exactly the same thing, when each is asking the other for what they both want. When, through this process of empathy and clarity, collaboration is the blending of two mutually harmonious visions, then a special energetic condition arises called synergy. Then the whole is a dimension greater than the sum of the parts, and as if by magic, things work really well. When the collaboration is sexual partnership, the same principles apply. Your vision and mine have to become substantively married. The umbrella of love, fidelity, honesty, trust, openness, sharing and caring is often assumed, perhaps legitimately. Yet the detailed interpretation of how to reconcile these rather angelic qualities with earthly qualities and realities will always eventually cause friction, which will then rub and chafe until something shifts. The issue will be one of three types: non-negotiable, negotiable, or irrelevant to your happiness. If before entering committed relationship we would talk about our boundaries and preferences, we could avoid many of the clashes. But if we do clash, then we try to remember that emotional outbursts are just that. They are not effective to resolve issues in the long term. What works is negotiation. This necessarily means surrendering something we want a little in order to protect something we want a lot. Yet under no circumstances whatever should we go against our principles. Those are non-negotiable. The idea within cooperation and collaboration and sharing our vision with someone else is twofold. First of all, we can't realize our own vision of what we want to happen in life alone. It's just not possible. We have to cooperate with so many people. Also, when we get to a certain height of spiritual awareness, we know that the best thing that we want to do for ourselves and for God and for all and everything is to help other people realize their vision. The idea that we could realize our fullest, most glorious vision at some point in time when another person is not doing that, that idea is wrong. Because our fullest vision is that everyone is where they want to be, is glorifying their own lives simultaneously. That's the only way we'll ever get to our ultimate state of the vision at the end, where we're everything, where we have everything. That can only be reached when we join with another person, other people, all the people. And what we're using for a wazifa here is Zul, Jalal, Wali Kram, the Lord of mastery, majesty and splendor. I can, you can, we all can, we can realize this, we can do this together. Zul, Jalal, Wali Kram, Zul, Jalal, Wali Kram, Zul, Jalal, Wali Kram, Zul, Jalal, Wali Kram, Zul, Jalal, Wali Kram. Ameen.